Hey YouTube, Gordon Miller here. I just posted an article on Quora. I posted a question on Quora and answered it with the same content that's in my article in LinkedIn. And it's the one here with the Santa Claus picture. The topic that I start to discuss in the article on LinkedIn is myths that perpetuate the lies of the dependency socialist class in the U.S. What I mean by that is it has occurred to me that we have been indoctrinating our youth from an early age with mythical creatures, mythical people that give them free shit. And so we have Santa Claus that comes down a chimney, whether you have a chimney or not. It comes down your chimney, drops presents under a tree that you cut down from your front yard and drug inside for some reason, and then gives you free shit. Then we also have the Easter Bunny, which of course has really nothing to do with the holiday of Easter, but the bunny brings people presents and candy and all sorts of stuff. So again, more free shit. Then we have the Tooth Fairy, and your teeth are going to fall out anyway, but for some reason we made this about giving kids money, and these days if you give a kid $1 for a tooth they lost, instead of back in my day when it was a quarter or something like that, but if you give a kid $1, they're like, damn, I didn't get 5? I mean, come on. I mean, how ungrateful can kids be today? But we've created an entire society over the last 50 years where we've reinforced these mythical people who give away free shit. And so are we surprised that in the Congress now, they're electing people, these people who grew up believing in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy and enjoying all the free shit they got when they were kids? Are we really surprised that we grow up to elect people who want to continue to give them free shit? I mean, is that really, such a mystery to people? Of course they're going to nominate people, for the Democratic ticket who want to give away free shit. They want free college and free health care and free cell phones and free big TVs and free apartments and free food and free fucking everything. What is up with all the free stuff? I mean, really, give me a break. Why is it that we have created this dependency socialist class in the United States? The only purpose it serves is to keep the people who are in power in power. And that to me is reprehensible. We should teach kids that things that you want, money or Xboxes or things like that, come from hard work that you do, that you earn money to then buy stuff. And that stuff, even if it's given to you by your parents worked hard for their money that they used to buy that with to then give you the stuff. So rather than Santa Claus being your hero, the parents who don't get any credit for the first several years, 6, 8, 10 years or whatever of a kid's life, parents get no credit at all for how hard they worked to earn the money to buy them the shit they want for Christmas. And for me, I'm just getting to the point in my life where what purpose does that really serve? I don't get why it is that we continue to perpetuate these myths. And, we have got an entire class of people now who are completely dependent on government. They're dependent on government for $1,000 apartments that they only pay $100 a month for, and the government pays $900. But don't worry, they don't pay their $100 in Section 8 housing, and they don't get evicted because the landlords would rather get $900 from the government forever than worry about taking the other person to court and evicting them for the $100 they don't pay. They get free cell phones, free food, free everything. Yet they've got big screen TVs and $1,100 iPhones, but they're getting all this other free shit. Is it really a wonder that little Johnny and little Sally and everybody else who goes off to college, accumulates $80,000 worth of student loan debt, and then comes home and lives with mommy and daddy until they're 26, where they're spending all the money they make in their job, making $36,000, $40,000 a year, they're spending all their money going to EDC for a week and music festivals and going on spring break down to Mexico and other worthless shit. Why aren't they paying for their apartment and their car insurance and their food and their car and everything else? Why are they depending as an adult over the age of 18 Why do we allow them to continue to depend on their parents? What is wrong with the United States and our society that we have gotten to the point where we are saying that that's okay? It's okay for Johnny and Sally to come on home after you graduate. You just spent $80,000 on an education you can't earn a fucking living with. What is wrong with you people? Of course, you need to have an education. Educations are great, but education is no substitute. Just because you spent 4 years at an institution who took your money, or your mom or dad's money, or loan money from the government that you eventually have to repay back at now a ridiculous interest rate, compared to when I was doing it. When I was doing it, it was, not nearly as bad as some of the conditions are now. You can even finance your education over 20 years like a mortgage now instead of 10. The only thing they don't tell you is that $80,000, instead of, paying it off over 10 years and having to pay back $100,000, you're going to pay it back over 20, and you have to pay it close to $200,000 over 20 years. What sense does that make? You end up becoming a debt slave to your job for 20 years just to pay back the money you spent over 4. That makes no sense at all. We've really got to start coming up with a fundamental shift in thinking. And so one of the things that we really need to do is understand that these ideas, like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy, do nothing to help our kids appreciate how hard it is that parents work for the money they get. And so when they're older, they think nothing of letting their parents continue to pay, put a roof over their head, put food on the table, buy clothes, put clothes on their back, all the stuff that they've always depended on them for, because they have no understanding, no concept of what it takes to earn that kind of money to buy the stuff that they want to buy. And that, to me, is borderline criminal. It's psychotic. It's sociopathic. It's ridiculous to think that we would end up in a situation like that. But that's where we're at. We're at a situation where everybody wants Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny to ride in on a white horse and save the day. Well, I got news for you. It's no different in business either. The problem that I have with a lot of entrepreneurs, and then again, finally getting to my entrepreneurial tie-in here. So the problem I have with a lot of entrepreneurs is that they expect free shit too. They want an angel investor to put their money in, and then they just want to spend the investor's money however they want. And okay, well, if it doesn't work out, we'll just find somebody else's money and things like that. No, you have to work hard until you're able to repay them their money and add value. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And so you can't have this dependency that we've created in the society. You need to work hard to fundamentally create a shift where you're adding value, and that value is being remunerated in what you're receiving, and you're finding a way to monetize it. And that's what I've been working on the last couple of years. So here, thanks, appreciate that. Hey, Solo. Everything I drink these days, well, at least water-wise, all the water I drink always has ice and is in a red Solo cup. I don't know why. I didn't do any partying during my college days, but Solo, I'm happy if you want to sponsor my videos. You will see red Solo cups in all of them. Makes it taste better for some reason. So, anyway, back to the story though. So. Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny are what is, or why we are in the political predicament we are in. It's why everybody can go on the debates, for the Democratic debates, and offer free shit. Elect me. I'm going to give you more free shit than this person who wants to give you less free shit. And that's what they're running on. So first of all, they're going to end up bankrupting the country and bankrupting the rest of us along with it. So I don't think that their plan is particularly doable. I do support, I'll go on record as saying, I do support a public option. Medicare for all, no thank you. I don't want that to be my only choice for healthcare. But I tell you what, my wife is permanently disabled, and through no request of her own, once you receive permanent disability status, you end up on Medicare. It's part of the way the Social Security disability process works. If you're permanently disabled and unable to work, she's blind, then, and she's not going to get unblind, not anytime soon. So if you're permanently disabled, you receive a portion of your Social Security earnings that you would have earned over the course of your lifetime earlier in the process. And you also are enrolled in Medicare. So she's had Medicare coverage, and her Medicare coverage is actually pretty good. She doesn't pay a lot for it, and she gets great, treatment. So I think for the millions of uninsured folks who are searching for something that aren't being well served by the current solutions. The current solutions, I mean, if you wanted to end up with healthcare, you're talking about probably $700 or $800 a month in healthcare coverage for a family of 5. And I think that's too high. I mean, I think it's, my wife pays less than $100 a month for hers. And, you think about the average for a family of 5 under those conditions would be around $400. And I think that that's reasonable. I mean, I think healthcare under $500 for a family of 5 makes a lot of sense. I mean, I just, but I don't think if people want to pay more for health insurance and with the perception that they get more, I'm not opposed to that. That's just the way, capitalism works. But I do think that it would be nice to have a public option that people could inexpensively join at about $100 a person a month. And I think that's a reasonable amount of money to pay. And I support that. So, and I'm a conservative. But again, I'm socially liberal, fiscally conservative. And, I don't believe in free college, but I would like to see some other options. College has gotten ridiculously expensive. My kids are in school now. My oldest is in college, and it's like $28,000 a year. I'd like to see, college be more affordable. I mean, I don't see how college should cost more than $12,000 a year, $1,000 a month. And I just don't see how people can work and go to school and afford college in any kind of reasonable way. So I think that there's some opportunities to be able to improve the way in which those things are being done now. And I'd like to see that happen. So anyway, I don't know how we got off on the public option, but it's free stuff. So back to the free healthcare. So I think free healthcare for all would be a disaster. The government hasn't proven it's very capable of doing a whole bunch of stuff on its own. So I don't know why being the exclusive provider for healthcare would be any different. But anyway, so Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, really, it's time to think about how we can kill them off or purge them from our social collective in order to be able to for the benefit of the future of our society. I just think that it's doing everybody a massive injustice. So anyway, 13 minutes, no ads. And, if I'm not monetizing, I get to curse like a motherfucker. So it's perfect. I love it. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Next video coming up.